Everyone, Matt here from Docs Running, and today we're going to do a brief review and a little biomechanical analysis of the Altra Timp 5. So Ultra was nice enough to send us a pair for review. As always, these are always our own thoughts. We are not compensated at all for these reviews, but what we're going to do a little differently this time is we're going to talk briefly about the shoe, do a little brief review, but then we're going to talk about some unique biomechanical factors that you might want to think about. So this is the newest version of their kind of longer distance trail running shoe, moderate stack height, 29 millimeters in the heel, 29 in the forefoot. It's now 9.8 ounces for men's size 9. 8.6 ounces to women's size 8, so much lighter than the previous version, which is great. It's got a new Ego Max foam underfoot, which provides a slightly firmer, but a little bit snappy, kind of like little tiny bit bounce, not a super foam feel underfoot. I really like Ego Max. It tends to be a little bit firmer and not mushy. It's really, really great. The fit is definitely classic for Ultra. The nice wide toe box, a little bit wider. I didn't have to actually lace lock the shoe at all. It was really secure upper, which was really, really nice. The thing that was a little different and interesting about this shoe is that it was slightly long. Not long enough that I wanted a size shorter, but it was slightly long. And what that meant is because the ride of the shoe is just a teeny bit stiff, it's not super flexible despite the natural ride system, the flex screws that they typically have. It's a little stiff. So when you have a slightly long shoe, it means the lever arm or the way you're pushing off is extended, so it makes the shoe just a teeny bit more stiff. With a zero drop shoe, what that means is you're going to have a little bit more work through your calf muscles. So as I was running in these, luckily I spent a lot of time walking barefoot. I just noted it's a little bit extra Achilles stiffness and a little discomfort that I don't typically get with zero drop stuff now because I spend a lot of time training that. But because the shoe's a little bit long, that just put a little extra stress on my calves. So if you have strong calf muscles and you're used to zero drop, this should be fine. This is probably not a shoe I would just jump into if you haven't ever tried any zero drop stuff before because of that reason. Now, the other side of that might be a great thing is when you trail run, you typically go a lot longer than road running. The longer you're out running, the more pounding you're getting on your feet, typically the more your feet swell. So for longer efforts, it's always good to make sure you have a little extra length and room. Obviously, you've got plenty of width here with Ultra's typical wide toe box, but having a little extra length over longer efforts can be really, really good because your feet will change not just width, volume, and they will also change a little bit of length. So if you have a shoe that's too short for trail running, that might be a problem, and you might start feeling like, why is it after an hour or two I'm feeling my toes push up against the end of the shoe, and I didn't feel that earlier? Because your feet swell. That is a very natural thing. So this is actually good for this, where this might feel a little bit stiff as you first warm up in the first couple miles, but as you get longer, you might notice, hey, it feels better because your feet might be changing a little bit of length. So having a little extra room in this type of shoe actually might work really well, especially for people that notice their feet swell and if they're doing really, really long efforts. So definitely some interesting things, some things to consider. Hope that review helps you, and we'll have a full written review really soon.